Welcome to the Just Being Petty Show. I am A.W. Petty, your host. Please like and subscribe and help us, you and I, grow this channel together. It really means a lot, and I appreciate all of you guys' support, each and every one of you. So today, I'm going to go back again on some topics that I think they just don't get enough pushback from the Republicans. I mean, these topics should always be brought up, even outside of election time, because these topics, in my mind, should determine elections. Maybe it's something inside my head that I don't know politics like I think I should, but it seems to me that if a party is in office for decades, and this goes back to 1953, when they get in office, the Republicans screw up the economy, period. Those are facts. That's just not me saying something. Those are facts. They screw it up, and a Democrat has to come in and fix it. And to save my life, I could never understand, except for cyclical elections. And when I say that, I mean people looking and saying, well, this guy was in office for 8 years, we need to put a Republican in. Yeah, but why would you do that if the Republican effed everything up? And it took a Democrat to fix it in 8 years, and then you say, well, we're not going to put a Democrat in, we'll put a Republican in because they've been in for 8 years. It makes no freaking sense to me. Why would you put a party in that history shows fucks the economy up every time? Every time they mess it up. And I've got the facts on this. So I don't understand how this happens. And this is a topic that I believe needs to be talked about. It probably won't do any good because people are stuck in who they're going to vote for no matter what. No matter if the person they're voting for puts in policies that ruins their life and their family's life and makes their life miserable, they would still vote for them. And I don't understand that. I talked about that on yesterday's show, but I don't understand that. But anyway, I'm going to go over some facts in a time frame of how they have screwed the economy up, and a Democrat has had to come in and fix it. So based on historical economy data from the post-World War II era, there is a documented pattern where several economic recessions and downturns have initiated under Republican administrations, followed by recovery periods under Democratic administrations. So here is where it starts. Dwight D. Eisenhower passed it over to JFK. A Republican, passed it over to a Democrat. Eisenhower leads a relatively stable, growing post-war economy. Kennedy inherits that momentum and pushes growth, tax cuts, expansions. So it was not a crash, but a handoff of strength. So I have to give the Republicans credit, and I have to give Eisenhower credit on this one. So the Democrats they took the baton and carried it on and made it even better. So I can't blame Eisenhower for that because he did a good job on that. I wasn't born, but from what I can see in the research I did. Okay, so now you have Richard Nixon, Republican, passing it over to Jimmy Carter, a Democrat. Nixon era ends with inflation issues and the collapse of the gold standard. Economy becomes unstable heading into the late 70s. Instability passed forward to Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter, Democrat, passes the economy on to Ronald Reagan. Carter deals with inflation plus the oil crisis. Reagan inherits a weak economy. Early 80s recession hits hard. But I have to be fair with Reagan at this particular time when he took the baton. Reagan didn't cause the initial mess. But I have to also say his policies shaped the recovery or a lack of a recovery. So once he got in there, he didn't help fix the problem. It got worse. So now you have 1980 stagflation. Again, that stagflation and recession, that was Carter to Reagan. While the 1980 recession began under Jimmy Carter, a severe recession occurred in 1981 and 82 during Ronald Reagan's term. The economy eventually recovered, but it was bad times. So he had some bad times too. The 1990 recession. Now, this is George H.W. Bush. He hands it over to Clinton. A recession began in July 1990-91 year. During George H.W. Bush's term, President Bill Clinton followed with an economic expansion that produced 22 million jobs, a budget surplus, and a high-tech growth. And see, these are the things that people forget. I know it's history, and we probably shouldn't be talking about it, all the time, but these are issues that need to be talked about. Because if you had common sense and you did critical thinking and you looked at these stats and you said, okay, well, I'm looking at these stats and the Republicans screw up. If you purely based it on the economy and who did better with the economy, not partisan politics, then you would think somebody would say, well, I'm going to keep a Democrat in. But that's not the case. That doesn't happen. It's always partisan and it's always dealing with nonsense, social issues and nonsense, nothing that deals with the pocketbook. So now we get to the 2008 financial crisis. Bush, Republican, hands it over to Obama. The 2008 housing bubble burst and the resulting Great Recession occurred at the end of the George W. Bush administration. Barack Obama implemented the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009 to stimulate the economy. Now, you have the COVID recession. Well, let me go back. So once Obama handed his economy over to Trump in 2017, he handed it over to Trump. Trump effed it up with COVID-19. He didn't handle it right. He didn't know what he was doing. He's talking about, take bleach. He's talking about taking horse tranquilizers, just crazy nonsense of a guy who is low IQ, who doesn't know what he's doing, who should not even be in that office, in the position of the presidency, of the president. He screwed that up. He lied to the American people, and he tried to tell them, though, it's going to be gone as soon as the summer comes. Just total BS, and it screwed this economy up. So he hands it over to Biden. In 2020, the economy entered a recession due to the pandemic under President Donald Trump. President Joe Biden took office in 2021, overseeing a recovery focused on manufacturing jobs, infrastructure, and passing the Inflation Reduction Act. Now we're back on track again. We're back on track. Nobody sees this pattern that has been happening since 1953, and there are some exceptions. But for the most part, Republicans get in, screw it up, give tax breaks to the millionaires and billionaires, and the deficit it skyrockets, and then a Democrat has to come in, and then everybody forgets. It's amazing to me how people forget in 48 years what happened the last 48 years. It amazes me. So then you have that. So Biden comes in and fixes that. Trump comes out and runs and just lies. The whole Republican Party lies. Democrats don't push back. They turn on Joe Biden, and this clown gets back in. So, and then what happens? And then he gets back in, and where are we at now? Where are we at now? We're in a mess. We're in a war. Gas prices are $5, $6. He's robbing the American people. He's stealing money. He's trying to sue his own departments. He's taking money from foreign countries. His sons are getting rich. It's just a mess, and everybody else is struggling, and we're feeling the pain. So here's what I will say about this whole thing. I'll break this down. Of the 11 recessions in the modern era since 1953, 10 began under Republican presidents. GDP growth. According to the New York Times, since 1933, the economy has grown at a faster average rate under Democratic president, 4.6%, compared to Republican presidents at 2.4%. These things need to be talked about nonstop. And I say this, and like I said, maybe I don't know politics like I should. Maybe overkill is too much. I don't know. But when I look at the Republicans, when they get on an issue, they push it. They push it. They push it. They push it. Whether it's a negative issue about somebody else, whether it's a negative issue about lying about the economy, they push, 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 push. So job creations have been higher under Democrats, with private sector jobs increasing at a faster rate than under Republicans. Studies from Princeton economists found that unemployment has fallen on average under Democratic presidents while rising under Republican presidents. And this is what I'm saying. I don't know about you. I just think that these are important issues to be talking about. Especially the Democrats, they should be talking about this. Maybe it's something I'm missing. I don't know. I don't know. But economic performance can be influenced by a wide variety of factors beyond direct policy control, including the Federal Reserve, global events, and the timing of business cycle, as noted in by economists Alan Binder and Mark Watson. So here's the deal, and I've said it all through this process, all through this video, is that I just believe these issues should be talked about more. I think the Democrats should be talking about these issues. I know that legacy media won't talk about it, and maybe it's just old news and nobody wants to hear about it. Maybe that's the case, but I'm going to push these issues. These topics I will push because I think they're important to know. And I think people, they need to be rehatched. They need to come back out to show, because these are important. These can determine who gets voted in, I believe. If you push these issues and you put them out there and you let the American people know, because like I said, if I look at something and say, well, the Republicans have screwed up everything. It took a Democrat to fix it. But I'm thinking logically, and I don't think everybody thinks logically. But me, I would be like, oh, I'm going with the Democrat. I don't care about cyclical elections or how a Democrat should be in for 8 years and then a Republican. Screw all of that. I don't believe in that. I believe whoever's doing the best job should stay in office. So anyway, I wanted to bring that up, and it's going to be some other topics that I think need some coverage that may be old topics, but I'm going to mix everything up with old topics and current events. I'm going to do that, but it's just certain things that just I look at them and I say this seems very important here to me. So anyway, like and subscribe and help us, you and I, grow this channel together. And I really appreciate all of your support. And I will see you guys up the road.